Hey guys, check out Italian Wine Unplugged 2.0, brought to you by Mama Jumbo Shrimp, a fully updated second edition, reviewed and revised by an expert panel of certified Italian wine ambassadors from across the globe. The book also includes an edition by Professore Attilio Scienza, Italy's leading vine geneticist. To pick up a copy today, just head to Amazon.com or visit us at mamajumboshrimp.com.
Welcome to the Italian Wine Podcast. I'm Cynthia Chaplin, and this is Voices. Every Wednesday, I will be sharing conversations with international wine industry professionals, discussing issues in diversity, equity, and inclusion through their personal experiences working in the field of wine. If you enjoy the show, please subscribe and rate our show wherever you get your pods.
Hello, and welcome to Voices. This is Cynthia Chaplin, and today I'm really happy to have my good friend and colleague, Jamie Feng, with me from Paris in France. Jamie was one of our Vinitaly International Academy Italian Wine Ambassador students the week before Vinitaly. And since then, he's been extremely busy since he went back to France. So, Jamie, thank you so much for giving us your time. I'm so glad to talk to you tonight.
Hi, Cynthia. Always a pleasure. Hello, listeners.
Well, Jamie, you have such an interesting story. I know our listeners are always interested to hear how people got to where they are. So you're from China originally, and you started out in biochemistry, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, exactly. It's my major in university in China. Yeah.
And what were you hoping to do with biochemistry?
I think this is very interesting. I'm getting involved in the wine industry is completely accident, but my background gives me a basic, I would say, because I studied the high distilled spirits, which is fermented products as well. So all the chemical reactions in the wines during the winemaking is very helpful. So I really appreciate that my background in biological engineering in China. So yeah, this is I think it's kind of destiny that I'm getting involved in the wine industry, which is the very good choice.
I like it. Destiny brought you to wine. Well, so you were studying biochemistry in China, and then you ended up in France. What happened?
Yeah, it was very, very long story. I just make story short. Yeah. So I was born and raised in northeast China, which means that I have no background before I came to France study in 2013. So, but at the very first beginning, I was very passionate about my major, so I was planning to US to do my master degrees. But just one day, my professor heard that I will go abroad to deepen my studies, so she gave me a little conversation, asked the questions that why you are going to US, and she just said that why not France, because France has a very good culture of the wine, and we have a very basic block of the biochemical background. It was so amazing that you will go to France. So I was surprised. I asked the question, why France? She just gave us in the introductory course about the wines, and I got my passion. So I decided to switch on French. So I didn't speak so well French before going to France. So 1 year later, so I was in France. So this kind of the very crazy story, because before France, I never tasted a single wine. So I don't know tannins, what is tannins about the acidity or all the things about the wine. So it was quite amazing story for me. But I think it is kind of the most great choice that I made. Yeah,
it is. It's such a cool story. I love that you were in China, looking to be a scientist, and just one professor changed your life. I'm an educator, so I love knowing that the power of a good teacher can change someone's life for the better. So that makes me really happy. I like that story. And so you moved to France and you started drinking wine. You'd never tried it before. What did you think?
Actually, I started my journey in Reims. Yeah, it's not bad from Champagne. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, that's a shame. Terrible place. Terrible place.
So in 2014, I started my master degrees. It was very interesting at the beginning because the difficulty to understand French is French is very difficult to learn.
And let's face it, French people aren't all that nice. If you don't speak French properly, they don't want to talk to you.
Yeah, yes, exactly. And I mean that, and go straight to the master degrees because the most of the students are French and they have a major in wine. So I think the course is really deep into the wines. And the first course that I had, it was about the soil. So the structure and the texture of the soil is the geology, all the things for 1 month. I only understood two words, bonjour, au revoir.
That's
And
all
it
you
was,
need.
yes, yes, it was so depressing. And I was like, okay, this is the challenge. So you come all the way around to France and then you learn wines. You need to study French at the first time. So I spent almost 3 months at the beginning to learn French, and just one day I started to understand the French, and it was okay. So that's it, and it was really a good story for all the foreign people who live in France. And I think French is the key to understand the culture, or especially in wine. I mean, in the wine industry, it's really important that you understand French. And yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. That I've been in France, lived in France for a little while, and done a little bit of wine work there. And you really do have to understand French to really dig down below the surface. You're so right about that. It's interesting. They put up a few more barriers there than they do in Italy. You can get by in Italy if you don't speak Italian.
Yeah, and then it's really different that if you work in one industry in France, and people are just so calm that if you can speak well French, and they are really appreciate that the efforts that you made to integrate the French culture, and it means so important for the French person. So they are very open at the same time, but they are very very proud of their culture, especially for their language. So
Absolutely. And that's, I think Italians are heading that way too, trying to ban English words from the vocabulary. I understand the reason behind that. I'm not sure how realistic it is, but I understand the philosophy behind it, that supporting that tradition. So you finished up in Reims, and then you did another next step because you just are an eternal student. You study all the time. What did you do next?
yeah, after 1 year that I started very very technical information of the wine and champagne in general. Um, I actually found the Burgundy wines really interesting. So I just applied another advanced master in Dijon for the reason is this is quite special education that you have half of the time that you learn very technical things in wines, and then the other half of the time is spent is for the marketing and the commercial parts. And the most important is that during this education we had the chance for the study trips. So we were in California, we were in Italy, we were in some very good, amazing places in Switzerland, and almost every region in France. So basically, we have 1 week of the study in the university, and another time we just go to another country. It was some visits.
Just one giant field trip. Amazing.
Yeah, yes, it's really good that you can really combine the technical things with the practice when you facing the one. I think you can understand me. My point is that before the ones you can actually understand some of the things easily. Yeah.
I completely agree. When you're standing in the vineyard with your feet on the ground, it all starts to make sense in a way that it doesn't when you just have the bottle and the glass in front of you.
Definitely. Yeah, absolutely right. Yeah.
Well, so you finished up there and you moved to Paris to start working. So, what happened?
Yes. Yeah, I did an internship before these two. I was in Bordeaux. So three main regions in France. I was not so bad. So I passed just 6 months. For Chinese people, I mean, it's not the cliche, but I learned Bordeaux wines when I was in China. So the famous 82 vintage.
Exactly.
So because we learned that from the film, and we learned that from the articles. This was everywhere in China. So my dream is to live in Bordeaux and to work in Bordeaux. So I only applied the internship work in Bordeaux. So I passed 6 months there. I was in a wine merchant to the assistant sales job in the export market to China. But after 6 months, I found myself that I didn't like the job. So at least it wasn't my talents. I think the only passion for me at that moment is really into the tasting or the knowledge of the wine, because yes, I passed 2 years in wine, but it was not enough because I didn't have any background in wine. So I was honestly, I cannot tell the difference between Pinot Noir and the Cabernet Sauvignon at that time. So it was a shame. So I just say to myself, so what come the job that you want to do? You don't know, but the only thing that you can do is to learn. So this is kind of the main reason I moved to Paris to join my girlfriend, and at the same time, I started my diploma in London. So just yeah.
It's always these girlfriends and boyfriends drag you to some new place, and you never know what's going to happen. But for you, Paris worked out. The girlfriend didn't work out so well, but Paris worked out really well. I know you've been working there for a while now, and I just wanted to ask you, because we've talked about this before, and it's interesting. You've said people would walk in to the wine business and they would see you, and you look Chinese, and they didn't think you would speak French or know anything about wine. How did you deal with that?
Yeah, it was yes. Um, I mean, in France, basically in Italy, I think that the same thing in every wine regions that um, you work in one industry, so it's very logical that you work in the wine regions. I mean, so working in Paris is not very logical because it didn't produce wine, so it wasn't my first plan. It's just a backup at the moment because in Paris I can go easily to London. So I mean, at the same time, I finished my master degrees and I started my diploma. I cannot just study all the time. It was so boring. So I need to find another job to support my daily working. So I started.
Daily dose of wine, basically.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yes, you understood so well. So yeah, um, I just found a job to work in the wine shops. At that time, and I think it's very important that I think I can practice my French, and at the same time I can understand, I can taste the wine. So yes, it was a big up. Um, at the beginnings, when the French people see Asian people working in the wine shops and they giving the advice for food wine pairing, it was very strange. So at the beginning, yeah, it was difficult. So some of the French, they don't want my service. It's not that they are bad. It's just that they have their habits with my colleagues at the moment because I was quite new, so I didn't have the experience in food one pairing or all the recommendations the one. So at the beginning they are yeah they didn't have the habits, but after several trials and I insist to do some service, and they just get the confidence on you. I think in Paris it's very, and in France in general, they don't have this barrier. Even that you are Asian people, if you just to show your professional wine knowledge and your passion in the wines, and they accept it. And yes, the important thing that you speak well French. So this is really, really important.
And you have a great personality too. So I know what a tough person you are, and I'm sure that all of this studying, you had to tell somebody your knowledge because you'd spent all this time gathering it. So I know you needed to talk to people. So I'm sure that helped you gain your French. And I know that the next thing that happened, you passed your diploma, and now you are a Master of Wine student. How is that going for you? It is such a rough road, and so much more studying. I am always amazed at how much studying you have managed to cram into the past 9 years.
Are you enjoying this podcast? Don't forget to visit our YouTube channel, Mama Jumbo Shrimp, for fascinating videos covering Stevie Kim and her travels across Italy and beyond, meeting winemakers, eating local foods, and taking in the scenery. Now, back to the show.
Yeah, 9 years. Yeah, you are right, absolutely right. Yeah, I was. Yeah, I mean, what in the wines for 9 years is quite a big move, but I think that sometimes that like I said before, the destiny is there, and you start.
And you want to be the best. You're good at what you do. I've seen you taste wine. You know the difference between Pinot Noir and Cabernet Sauvignon now.
Yeah, luckily at the moment when prepared the muscle wine, I think it's important to know the difference between Pinot Noir and Cabernet Sauvignon. But the point that I want to make is I think it is important that when you are young, you don't know yourself, and I think at some points that you start to know yourself. What the true personality that you have, and what the kind of things that you really want to do, and your strengths and your passion and your ability. I think these kind of elements mean so important to me, and I really appreciate that my job, because I started in wine shops and doing the diploma at the same time. It was a part-time job, and after I got my diploma, and my company gave me the trust, and I promoted to the buyers team. I think it was really a big move for foreign people, especially with no.
It's huge. That's a huge move.
Yeah, yes, it's a huge move for the company. It's the huge move for me as well. It's it kind of the trust given to me, and I was really really appreciate this experience. So at that moment, when you started to working in buyers, the role is different, because you need to select the wines, and then you need to know the market, and this change a little bit your your perspective to of the wines. It's not only the tasting, it's not only the acknowledge, it's a combine of all the aspects of the wines. And after 2 years, I was yes, I have a basic of a diploma. I kind of uh, know what is the wine, what is the winemaking, but it's not enough. It's not enough. I know at that moment, I knew I will do the master wine. I think I will do it, but I just don't know when I will start this journey. So I met my reference, the Jennifer, the master wines. She's Canadian, and but she speak Mandarin as well. And we met in Tokyo when I was in the education of the sake. So I asked the questions. So I really want to do the master one. So how can I prepare for this, or this is the right moment to apply for this program? I know this kind of the most difficult certification.
I think Master of Wine is like having a baby. There's no perfect moment to do it. You just have to do it.
Yes, she looked at me and she said, "Just do it. Don't overthinking things. Just do it. You know you're never ready for this, because this is huge. If you really have the intention, if you really have the passion to do it, just do it. Don't think too much." So I just okay. I got this idea. So I think involved in this program. I mean, it's a very evident choice for me, because I really I have the Thursday. I always curious to know more things about the wines. I think I will set the exam this year for the stage show. You know, this is the big thing, and I have 50 days to go. But every day, I learn the book, I read the information, all the information. It was just amazing experience. I think the master one. If you don't like this, if you think this is something that you need to do, you won't get it. I think the whole thing that you enjoy the the, the, the journey, that you learn much more and improve the tasting skills. What else that every day, and I enjoyed it. This is the point, and I really enjoyed it. Yes.
I feel guilty now that you only have 50 days left, and I'm wasting your time on the podcast. But in the midst of all of this, I have a big question for you, because this big journey through France, big journey through knowledge, big journey through Master of Wine, and I know you're going to make it. I know that you will. But why on earth did you decide to do Vinitaly International Academy? Like, you had nothing better to do with your time? What were you thinking? Why did you decide to do VIA?
This is a very good question.
Aside from the fact that I told you should.
But I waited for this question, I waited for this question because this is so important for me during my wine studying journey. I mean, because as you know that I started my wine journey in France, which is not bad, a French one is very good. But but Italian wines for me, all about. I think it started with the study trip when I was in Lyon, that was during 2015. We start in Barolo. It's not bad. They said, I think that my first inside of the Barolo, they said this is the Pinot Noir in Burgundy. All the things that in the northern part of the Italy, we made the single variety. We have kind of the same commitment to make high quality wines. So this is my first impression. But after tasting, I said myself that this is not Pinot Noir.
It's not Pinot Noir, no.
No, it's not. This is not. It's not Pinot Noir. It's Italian wine. It's completely different. I really enjoy the wines at that moment, and I was impressed by the. I think it's not different. The French people are so
reserved, yeah, a little reserved,
a little bit restrained. You know what I mean? So just like reserved. Yes, this is the right word. So just like the wines, it's a little bit restrained. You always have this kind of the elegance, or it's all about the balance. But Italian one is not. I think it's something. It's my opinion is linking to the personality of the Italian people as well. They're so charming. They're so straightforward. Some kind of the vertical, and this kind of the energy I caught is impressive at that moment. So
I like that. That's a good analogy. I think you're right about that.
Yeah. So I kept this memory, and I work in as a barrier. So, but I mean, in the portfolio of my company at the moment, 95% were French wines. It's no foreign wines, and
it's Paris. What can you do?
Yes, but at the same time, as the capital of France, I mean, you have lots of tourists every year. I think all the time. So, and you only have French wine. It's not very international. I mean, so. But the Italian wines is the first category for French people. If they choose foreign wine, they will go straight to the Italian wines. So
that's very interesting.
yeah, it was very interesting. I think it's linked to the fact that we had many Italian bistro in Paris, and French people do enjoy their vacation in Italy. So after the vacation, then they really want to recall their memories in the vacations to have a glass of the Italian wine, which is makes completely sense. So I really wanted to promote Italian wines at that time in France, but I don't know how to do it because my limited Italian wines tasting experience is not great. So and then I found this education via. So I thought, okay, this is so-called the highest, the most professional education for Italian wines. I'm gonna do it. So so this is what kind of the main reason that I got involved in this education.
You just like a challenge, don't you? You just like
Yes.
a challenge.
Exactly.
Well, you did via this, just a couple of weeks ago, in the midst of all of your Master of Wine studies, and it is challenging. We know that. We don't hide from that. We know it's a really in-depth course. You've got to do 60 hours of at-home study beforehand, and then you were in Verona with us, with me and your colleagues for 4 days of intensive tasting. I don't know if you know, but you tasted 151 wines. And then you sat the exam. And I'm just wondering how you felt about the whole experience, because it's very full on. It's very intense. There's a lot of material. How did it feel for you? You're the consummate student. So how did you feel about it?
Firstly, it was not an easy choice for me because I'm preparing my master one study. It's it's quite intense, and I said to myself I wanted to do it, even though I didn't have so much time to prepare the study. But I really want to do it because I think this education is more in depth for the Italian wines, which will help me in the tastings or in my preparation for my MW study. So this is really in depth. And secondly, the whole program, I really appreciate because this year we have the master class with the consortium, which is
we had 8 this year. It was the most we've ever had.
Yes, it was amazing. I think because they can provide very objective, in-depth insights of this appellation. You can ask all the questions, and they give you a very general and a very um, a diverse knowledge or the historical part of the appellations, and they really helped me to understand their style, why the one is the blend, why the one is a single variety, why they cultivated this kind of the varieties. So this part I really appreciate. And another thing I need to mention that the pre-study program with the videos, it was very interesting because Sarah and Harry did a very good job to make this study before the masterclass, before Verona, that you can really understand every style of the Italian wines within the varieties, and they were so passionate to share all the things with us, and I can feel the passion, I can feel the energy. So I think all of the candidates before the program in Verona, they are all ready. They are all have their curiosity or the thirsty for the Italian wines. And finally,
that makes me really happy because we want that at-home study part of the session, to be important and engaging. And it's hard when someone's online, you're watching a video, but Henry and Sarah, we're so lucky to have them. Henry Devar is an Italian wine expert, and Sarah Heller, of course, is a master of wine. We're so lucky to have both of them and all the time and effort they put into making those videos. And then coming to Verona and being with you in person, although Henry was on a link this year, but Sarah was there with Professora Scienza. It's nice to know that it makes a 360-degree sort of picture for you. That's what we're aiming for. We want you to have as much content as we can give you.
Yeah, it was very, very useful. I mean, because when I start to start the video, I think every sentence that Sarah and Harry shared within the part of the historical reasons or the food pairing parts, all the things well organized, and I think I really learned so much. And I think the Verona program this year was really, really good because that, just like you said, we taste 150 wines, and it's quite challenging at one part, but I think it was very important because the ones were selected for their typicity of the style. And when it started before, and actually when you taste the wines, and at the moment that Sarah was there to try to describe the wines, and this is the most important part, that you actually to learn all the things, you make all the things together, you understand the logical things. For example, when you see the tasting notes for this variety in the book or listen to from Sarah, but you didn't taste the wines before because, Italian wines,
you can't always get them everywhere. That's right.
Are diverse. Yes, yes, exactly. So when you taste the wines, you truly understand. Yes, this is it. This is the aromas that they said, and it was really make sense. And the second thing that I want to mention is the historical part with Professor Scienza. It was really interesting because I tell so many friends that they have the passion about Italian wines, and I said to them that it was very important to learn Italian history to understand the Italian wine, because if you don't have this background, you cannot truly understand why these varieties are there and why these were grown in this region. And Scienza made a really impressive post of all the immigrations, of all the history of the variety. It was so amazing. I never learned this before, so I found it's very interesting.
I'm thrilled to hear you say that. That is a big part of the philosophy behind Via. We want people to really get the whole story and to be able to tell the story and understand the history, the soil, the culture, the tradition. It is a huge, valuable piece of cultural, things that go beyond what's in your glass and back, centuries and centuries, as Professor Scienza tells us all the time. So I'm really delighted that you like that part of it.
And you did a really great job for the introduction of the Scienza.
Thank you.
You made everything logical. Yeah, it's really important. And I think that another point to say is that when you listened the history of Italian wines, and I did taste Italian wines, you get them. Even I'm an ambassador of Italian wines, but at the moment that you feel yourself, okay, this is a long journey. You never learn all the things about Italian wine. That makes you...
I have to say that's why I decided to end my wine career in Italy, because you can never learn it all. I learn something new every day. Every year is different. Every vintage is different. Something new happens here every day. So I love being here. I know exactly what you mean. It's an important part of it. And let me congratulate you. You might not have heard this, but Jamie just said that he is now an Italian wine ambassador. He passed the killer exam. And I can tell you that he didn't think he would, but I knew he would. And so congratulations for that, because we do have 1,200 people who've taken the exam and only 340 have passed. So it's a big accomplishment, and we are so glad to have you as part of our VIA community. We know that despite the fact that you think you're French, we are going to lure you into Italy, and you're going to be a great Italian wine ambassador for us wherever you go. And we want to wish you so well for your Master of Wine. I'm so excited for you about that.
Thanks. And I think you're the most important thing is you guys were really smart, because you make the person that the candidate of Italian wines, and you do all the program in Verona, and just to show that you just start your journey in Italian wines, and you got this passion, and you give this motivation to all the candidates who passed the exam, or to the candidates who didn't pass the exam. You give this passion, you convey this passion, you convey this kind of the feeling of the Italian wines. This is really smart. So I think after this program, even I'm the ambassador of the Italian wines, I have more eager to learn Italian wine. This is really amazing, and
I'm excited. I hope that you'll be joining us on some of our Gita Scholastica, our academic trips, and I hope you carry the Via community spirit in your heart, go around spreading Italian wine joy. And I hope that you carry that Italian wine knowledge into your Master of Wine. And I hope you spend more time in Italy, because I miss you.
Yes, I would love to. And I think for the full program, I just want to share some opinions for Italian wines, which I shared a lot with my French friends. And I learned that from this program. I learned that from Sarah, from this course. That is so important. I just want to share all the listeners that Sarah said that you need to know Italian wines. You need to learn to love, because the whole system of the operation of the wine is based on French wines. And Italian wines are unique, because if you start to appreciate Italian wine with this system, you never get the charming sides of the Italian, because all the Italian food is about the acidity, about the tannins. But this is the truth, because Italian wines always had the structure at the first on your palate, and the first and the acidity, all the things after. If you change your idea to appreciate Italian wine, you get another universe. And I thanks this so much, because it changed absolutely my tasting Italian wines, and it was just my memory for this journey. I was really appreciative. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Jamie. And thank you so much for giving us your time tonight. It was great to chat with you. And I know I'll see you soon. So
yeah.
Ciao. Have a great evening.
Yes. Ciao.
Thank you for listening, and remember to tune in next Wednesday when I'll be chatting with another fascinating guest. Italian Wine Podcast is among the leading wine podcasts in the world, and the only one with a daily show. Tune in every day and discover all our different shows. You can find us at ItalianWinePodcast.com, SoundCloud, Spotify, Himalaya, or wherever you get your pods.